Hello, everybody. It is I, Mr. Aaron, returning once again for some more reading in Dum 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 Shark School Squidnapped. Now, if you hear a little bit of background noise today, my neighbor's driveway is just on the other side of this wall, and they've got a car going over there right now. So if you hear kind of like a rumbly noise in the background, that's probably what that is. Anyway, so you may remember where we left off last time was Harry had been kidnapped or squidnapped by Gordon Clamsey, the famous giant squid chef, and who was preparing to fix Harry for his lunch. It's a very dire situation. We're going to see how Harry manages to get out of it today. Reaching up into the dark ceiling of the cave with two of his tentacles, Gordon brings down a huge white chef's hat. I look at it closely and see that it's been stitched together from several wrecked ship sails. Gordon places the chef's hat on his head like a mer-king putting on a crown. The puffy mushroom-shaped top of the hat settles down, and Gordon strikes a pose, folding his tentacles one over the other, 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 over the other. And now, Gordon whispers, we can begin. I try to push myself into the rock as Gordon picks up 1, 2, 3, 4 of his sharpest knives and slowly makes his way toward me, licking at his razor-sharp beak with his leathery purple tongue. Chapter 6. Wait! I scream as Gordon gets closer. Wait! You've forgotten something really important. No, I haven't, says Gordon, unconvinced. He looks around. Ingredients? Check. Cooking stove? Check. Knives? Check, 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 and check. Huge floppy chef's hat? Check. Table? Check. Tablecloth? Checked. What else can I possibly need? Think of something, I say to myself. You don't have. Come on. Then I have a brainwave. On all the cooking programs Mom watches, they're always going on about something called seasoning. You don't have the right seasoning, I say with a gasp. Gordon's chef hat has fallen over the tops of his eyes. He pushes it back, scratches his forehead with 3 spare tentacles, and peers at me. I've got all the seasoning I need right here. No, you haven't. Gordon pushes his hat so far back it falls off. He scrabbles around on the floor, picks it up, and puts it back on his head. Look you, zip it! Food should not answer back. Now, back to the matter at Tentacle. Honestly, you don't have the right seasoning. For hammerheads, you need... Think. Yes! You need pink plankton! That's the best thing for hammerheads. I remember how it had taken Mom ages to find pink plankton for the icing on the top of my birthday cake. If I can convince Gordon to go looking for some, it might buy me some time. Pink plankton? Gordon eyes me suspiciously. I've never heard anything about hammerheads and pink plankton before. It's true, I say. I saw it on... what's that program that Mom watches? Muscle Chef! Honestly, if you don't have pink plankton, I'm going to taste really boring, and I wouldn't want to see a brilliant chef like you make such a huge mistake. Well... Yes, come on! All right. Score! Gordon sighs. I'll go find some, but when I come back, you're going in the pan, and I'm frying you up for lunch, and then having leftover hammerhead sandwiches for later. Is that clear? Yes, it is. I have to stop myself from cheering. Still clutching the knives, Gordon turns around and swims out of the cave, grumbling to himself. I know that this is my very last chance. If I don't get away now, I shiver at the horrible thought of being a giant squid's lunch and dinner. The seaweed's too strong for me to get out of on my own, so if I'm going to get free, I'll have to find something that will help. Okay, concentrate. Find something, anything to get me out of this mess. I look around. Because I'm tied to this dopey rock, my nose and fins can't reach any of the knives and utensils that Gordon's left out on the table. I can't bend my neck to get my teeth working on the icky seaweed either. So what's left? I look down and see that my tail is free. Great, that will be really helpful. Not. But then I look beyond my tail to the floor of the cave. It's covered in bones and teeth and fish jaws. What if I bing my hammerhead vision and start scanning the cave floor? Look, look, look. Yes! There, just in reach. I start moving my tail. I swish it as hard and fast as I can over the small patch of the floor below me. Soon, a huge cloud of sand and silt is rising into the water. As I dangle, I'm uncovering more and more bones, and then, as the sand clears, I can see the edge of the cuttlefish bone I detected with my hammer vision. Cuttlefish bones are razor sharp. I push as hard against the seaweed as I can and wriggle my tail down a tiny bit more. The tip of my tail just brushes the top of the exposed cuttlefish bone. That's a start. I take a deep breath and squeal down as far as I can. The bones shift a little and I can yes! My tail finally squirms under the cuttlefish bone and I flip it up. The bone spins lazily in the water on a cloud of sand. I reach out with my left fin, missed. I lunge with my right fin, missed again. The bone is still going up. I kick and kick, forcing myself against the snotty seaweed and open my mouth. Chomp! The cuttlefish bone is in my mouth. Luckily, not sharp side up. Yes! I tilt my head down to work on the seaweed. The edge of the cuttlefish bone cuts through the sticky seaweed like a swordfish through sea cow butter. With a shake of my shoulders and a half-piked tail flip, I'm free of the snotty seaweed. I shake the last pieces of seaweed from my fins and kick away toward the entrance of the cave and out into the dark water. I've made it! I'm free! Bing! No! Bing! No! Bing! No! My hammerhead vision picks up a huge shape swimming towards me. A huge, giant squid shape. Gordon Clamsy is back! I thrust myself forward into the water, back towards Shark Point, but I can feel from the currents in the water that he's getting closer.
You tricked me!
Gordon shouts.
You don't season hammerheads with pink plankton!
You don't? I call back, swimming as fast as I can.
No, and you know very well that you don't. I went to the library and got a kid squid to look it up for me on the internet. And now, booms Gordon, it's definitely time for lunch!
No, it's not! I yell, swimming sharply from side to side, and I had to try and trick him.
Oh, yes,
It is! Buck! One of Gordon's tentacles attaches itself to my back. He starts to roll me toward his mouth.
And I don't think I'll bother with the cooking,
He says.
Sometimes food tastes best when it's raw.
I'm completely out of ideas. I'd set out to be a lone shark and ended up becoming a lunch shark. I close my eyes and hope it's over quickly. And what do you think you're doing with my little starfish? Mom? I open my eyes. Gordon jumps in shock and lets me drop. I can't believe what I'm seeing either. There in front of us are Mom, Dad, Ralph, Joe, and a team of police sharks. A group of lanternfish are swimming in front of them, lighting the way. And in front of everyone is the minnow. He'd gone to get them after all. Mom, Dad, Ralph, Joe, what is your name? The minnow looks sheepish.
It's not important, okay?
Mom is advancing on Gordon. I asked you what you were doing, you big tentacled oaf!
Yes, what's going on here, sir?
One of the police sharks says, swimming over.
Gordon shrinks away from him. Just having a bit of lunch, officer.
Having my boy as a bit of lunch? Mom swipes at Gordon with her tail. Gordon leans back farther. Do you know who my husband is? Dad gives Gordon a little wave. He's the mayor of Shark Point. Do you think it's a good idea for you to be eating the son of the mayor? Gordon shakes his head.
It really isn't a good idea, sir,
the police shark says. He clinks his pair of giant-sized tentacle cuffs threateningly. We've all heard about you from this brave little minnow, Mom says. The police know all about your job in Clam City, and we know why you were thrown out of that restaurant. So I suggest you take my son off the menu, or you'll have me, Mayor Hugo, and every shark in Shark Point coming to turn you into calamari. Do I make myself clear? I can't believe what I'm seeing. Mom is scarier than Gregor the Gnasher. Gordon nods and tries to hide his chef's hat behind his back. His tentacles start putting the knives inside the chef's jacket all on their own. Come on, Harry, says Mom. It's time to go back home. I really don't mind being cuddled by Mom and Dad on the way back to Shark Point, even if it is in front of Ralph and Joe and my newest friend, the minnow. Mom insisted he come back to Shark Point for refreshments so she could say thank you. As we approach the shallows around Shark Point, I turn to the minnow. Listen, now that we're friends, you have to tell me your name. I can't keep calling you the minnow, can I? It's silly.
Not as silly as my name,
the minnow says sadly.
You'll laugh at me.
No, I won't, I promise. How can I laugh at someone who's as fast and clever and brave as you? You're really cool.
Not with a name like Marmaduke.
Marmaduke? Marmaduke the minnow nods. I try not to laugh, but the bubbles from my nose show I'm swallowing a giggle. Marmaduke frowns.
See, I told you you'd laugh. Well, I may have a silly name, but at least I don't have a head shaped like a novelty can opener.
I start to laugh out loud. Then Marmaduke does too. Then everyone laughs, except for Joe, who's being very, very quiet. What's up? I ask him. My list of reasons not to leave Shark Point. It was garbage. Your list wasn't garbage, I say to him. No way! It had 247 things on it. Yes, but none of those things was you'll get kidnapped by a crazy giant squid chef. That should have been in the top 10, at least, Joe moans. I laugh and pat Joe's jelly shoulder. Don't be sad. I'm just happy I've got such a brilliant friend who would make a list that long to try to get me to stay. Shows me how lucky I really am. Joe smiles.
So, do you still want to be a lone shark, Harry?
Dad asks as we swim into Shark Point. I shake my head. No way! The open ocean is way too dangerous for a hammerhead to be on his own. Especially one who tastes as nice as me.
The end.
Whew!
Man, really didn't know how Harry was going to get out of that one for a second there. But it all turned out okay in the end. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, be sure to check out our other live programs. Toddler Time with Miss Becky, Stories with Sunny, and Creating with Constance. And don't forget, you can still access library materials digitally through our website at sweetwaterlibraries.com, through our services like Hoopla and Overdrive and RB Digital and Cloud Library and Canopy, and all that good stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you later.